Hey dudes and dudettes, I'm Derek with GameSomniac, and welcome to another episode of the Gamers Initiative, a gaming podcast for the gaming elite. Today we've got some fun things to talk about. There's a lot has happened recently, especially in the realm of survival horror. One Resident Evil 2 remake is down for the count, while another one rises to the occasion. So we're going to talk about the new Resident Evil 2 remake from Capcom themselves, and we're going to talk about the original Resident Evil 2 Reborn project that was shut down by Capcom, and what this could mean for the series. I also wanted to touch base on PT's successors. That's right, there's more than one fan project out there emerging in the light of that which was once Silent Hills, aka PT. Alright, first on the list, let's check out those successors to the highly anticipated but never to be Silent Hills. For those of you who don't know, and honestly, how could you not by now, a project was in the works with Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, which would be a new vision in the horror classic Silent Hill series, known as Silent Hills, because at some point in your career it just makes sense to take the original name and make it plural. I mean, anyone remember Aliens? How about Predators? Anyway, quick shots aside, the game was flawless and truly fucking terrifying. PT was released on the PlayStation Store as a demo, and unbeknownst to players, they were getting their taste of a brand new Silent Hill game. The demo was in first person and started out with your character of no name or origin waking up in the basement of a house. And it wasn't just a house, it's a strange fucking house. It's a house that made the House on Haunted Hill look like fucking episode of Sesame Street. The ghost that haunted that house would look at the ghosts in this house and be like, yeah, fuck it, you win. Anyway, you walk through this house, and everything's quiet, but only at first. These little things happen. There's a radio story, or a news story on the radio, and then the lines from the trailer come in through the radio, talking about how Dad was dragged and all that stuff, and the clocks start flashing, and they say the same time. The time never changes. So you walk through this hallway. It's an L-shaped hallway. You walk from the basement around a corner on the right, and then there's another door at the end of the hall. And when you reach that door and open it up, you go down a flight of stairs, and you open the door that's at the bottom of the stairs, and it's the beginning of the fucking hallway all over again. And you do this, I'm sure it's like 50 times, and each time you go through this hallway again, shit gets real. From a blood-filled refrigerator flown from the chandelier with chains to an 8-foot fucking ghost bitch named Lisa. And let's not forget about her living abortion in the bathroom sink. I mean, the crying and whining of this thing would probably set our Dark Lord and Savior Cthulhu on the path to Jesus. This game was just fucking sick from the start. But due to a fallout with Konami, Hideo couldn't drop the mic faster. The game was just left in limbo, and no one knew what was happening. There were rumors that Xbox Live was going to have the game finished and then host it as an X1 exclusive. Hideo was going to continue the production with Guillermo, but nothing took. The game died, and the free demo PT was quickly taken off the PlayStation Store, and we ended up with a brand new Silent Hill slot machine. So, kind of broke even. But in the darkness, there was a light. The fans were hard at work, man. Inspired by this new fear, one game developer, Lilith, has definitely created a game that is in every way equal to Silent Hills, or maybe even better. We won't know, but the gameplay looks very fucking promising. This new horror title called Allison Road is being developed on the Unreal 4 engine, and it looks fantastical. The game features some homages to PT, including carvings on the desk that read, "Dad was such a drag," a PS4 controller on the table, just to name a few. Steam has already greenlit this beautiful gem, and Lilith, the developer, is taking the project to Kickstarter, asking for help from the community to help bring things full circle. So definitely, if you're saddened by the death of PT, and definitely want a game that's very much like it in every single way, shape, and form, then definitely invest your time and money into this project called Allison Road. It's really fucking promising for an indie game, and the game looks so beautiful. That's the thing. I loved PT. I never got to play it, sadly, because I didn't upgrade to the PS4. That wasn't even an opportunity for me, which I'm saddened by, but I was able to live it through the videos and all of the promotional advertisings for the game, and I was really hooked on it, and I'm sad to see it go. But Allison Road is fresh blood in the dying title that used to be Silent Hills. This is your chance to actually have a game that's terrifying. They do have their own ghost villain. They do have their own ghost girl in the game, so it's very much like Silent Hills, except it's its own thing. And you can actually go outside in this game. That's the cool part. You can actually go outside. But if you go outside and come back to the house and the house is bleeding and everything changes, that's your fault. You just fucked yourself pretty bad. So, just watch the trailer. You'll see what I mean. Things shit gets real. You know what I mean? There's not enough fans for all the shit that just, hits the ceiling. Anyway, so the next game that I wanted to talk to you guys about is a game that I found called Silvio. And this game is very unique. It's right up my alley. I absolutely love the concept because your character is an audio recordist, better known as a ghost recorder who specializes in recording and analyzing EVP phenomenon. It's a first-person narrative that allows the player to explore haunted areas collecting EVPs, and then further analyzing them by actually playing them back, fast-forwarding, and rewinding certain parts of the tape. When your character hears the words through the static, she writes them down on the notepad. You figure it out. It's like a suspense thriller mystery kind of thing, but it's got the horror elements. It's got the Silent Hill creepy as fuckness to it. So, like I said, this game is very unique and very original. As an audio engineer myself, I'm really fucking stoked to hear that this game came with a Mac OS release. As you guys know, I'm a Mac gamer myself. I don't like Windows. I really don't. Ever since I picked up a Mac, I've just never been able to go back. But the bad part about playing on the Mac is that you don't find a lot of really good games that come released on the Mac. There's not a lot of Mac ports for these games, but this game has one, and I'm so thankful for that. The game was released just this past June and is very heavy on the Twin Peak Silent Hill overtones. David Lynch is said to be the main inspiration for the game, and from what I've seen so far, from what you're seeing in the background here, the game doesn't just throw those names around to gain a following. It's very true to its word. So definitely, as far as Silent Hills go, if you guys are really looking for some titles to help drown your sorrows in, definitely check these games out, man. As a community, let's try and get these games on the open up. Let's try and get them out there for others to enjoy. They look fucking amazing, and unfortunately, as sad as the news is that Silent Hills is dead and will never be, it's really awesome to see that this community is putting forth an effort to revitalize a dying genre. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be survival horror. I don't think it's going to be wiped off the face of the earth or replaced by fucking puzzle or kid games or anything like that, but I mean, the survival horror genre is definitely diminishing. There's not that many good titles coming out. The ideas are very stale, or you get original ideas that just go nowhere. You're left with fucking cliffhangers. You're left in the dark, like, what the fuck was that? These surprise endings. I mean, it's been terrible, the survival horror genre as of late, and we finally had a game that cut through the darkness, which was PT Silent Hills, and as fucking per usual, our hopes and dreams were destroyed because of a fallout between Hideo and Konami, unfortunately. But we have these games. We have these games coming out, and it's because of the community. It's because of how strong the impression of these games were on the community, that they wanted a terrifying title, so these people are going to go out and create their own. That's fucking awesome. I support it 100%. I hope you guys do. I hope you guys will spread the word about these games just as much as we're going to do here. We're going to put a link in the description for these games, as far as the Kickstarter, Facebook, all the sites you can go to support it. So look for those in the description, and definitely help spread the word. Alright, let's dive into the world of Resident Evil. Here's what a lot of people have been talking about. It's been the highlight in survival horror gaming news for the last few weeks. The birth of a remake and the death of a remake. Resident Evil 2 for the past year. Actually, wait, it might have been a few years. Yeah, they've definitely been working on this game for a long time now. And what sucks the most is that they were almost done. The game was right there in the final stages, and Capcom killed it, shut it down. Now, don't look at this negatively. In fact, the dev team behind the remake couldn't be happier. Invader Games, the dev team who had been working on the Resident Evil 2 remake called Resident Evil 2 Reborn, had received cease and assist letters along with an open invitation to fly over and meet Capcom. Capcom had reached out to Invader Games prior to their announcement of officially remaking the 1998 PS1 title, and they wanted Invader Games to meet with them, discuss new ideas for the remake, and essentially be involved in the process. Invader Games made a statement to the fans and other media stating, and I quote, "Contrary to what might be thought, this is wonderful news for us, and as fans, we're so happy that Capcom has decided to take the lead of the project and to develop the remake awaited for years by everybody. Nobody could bring back to life the masterpiece of 1998 better than the creators themselves. Meanwhile, as developers, we're honored to announce that we've been officially invited to meet Capcom. Capcom called us up in advance of the announcement and asked us if we would mind stopping the project as they had longer-term plans for a Resident Evil 2 remake. They have invited us to a meeting to discuss further ideas." End quote. There's also been hints that the dev team may be directly involved with the development of the game, but I don't think anything's been made official yet. Everyone hated that the fan game got pulled until they heard this news, but I think it's funny that everyone so desperately wants a Resident Evil 2 remake, as if it's the one magical thing that would have pulled Capcom out of the hole they've been in for the last few Resident Evil games, you know? I mean, Capcom cockblocked us with the GameCube releases of Resident Evil 2 and 3 after seeing the Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 0. When we heard that there was going to be a GameCube release for 2 and 3, everyone went apeshit with excitement, expecting complete remakes of all the games of the original trilogy, and that wasn't the case. So this is long-awaited good news for some. For me, I really couldn't care less, because for me, Resident Evil 3 is clearly the superior game of the trilogy, but with a larger fan following for Resident Evil 2, whatever reason that is, it's going to get all of the perks every time. I think it's unfair, but hey, let's chalk this up as an overall win for the Resident Evil series instead of being ungrateful, you know what I mean? Alright guys, that's all the time we've got for this episode. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you like what we're doing, please consider showing your support on Patreon, so that we can keep this thing going strong. There's going to be links to the site and more in the description below. Like I said, Silvio and Allison Road links will be there as well. I'm Derek with GameSomniac, bringing you guys the Gamers Initiative, a gaming podcast for the Gamers Elite. Take it easy, guys.